One dashboard that you might find helpful is the course outcomes dashboard. As with all of our dashboards, you can navigate to these using either the search window here and searching data warehouse, or following the breadcrumbs up here about Mesa, institutional effectiveness, institutional research, data warehouse. All of our dashboards are listed here at the bottom. There's always the option to watch a screencast regarding how to print from a dashboard. And as you go through your dashboards, if you notice anything that's not functioning correctly or you have feedback for ways to improve our dashboard, you can click here on the dashboard feedback form to send that information along to us. The course outcomes dashboard is developed to look at three primary areas of the student experience in the classroom. Course success, which is the % of students enrolled in a class who passed with an A, B, C, or pass. Course retention, which is the % of students enrolled in a class who receive a valid grade other than a W. In other words, students who remain in the class until the end of the semester. And program GPA, which is a numeric value assigned to grades that gives an idea of what the average grade is for the courses enrolled, or for the students enrolled in a course. A 4 represents an A, a 3 a B, a 2 a C, a 1 a D, and a 0 for a withdrawal. A 0 for an F or a withdrawal. All of our dashboards have a first introductory page here and tabs across the top here. If we look at course success rate, the first 3 tabs here are going to show an overview. So each tab will include the actual success rate, which is the blue line, the red line, which is an overall 5-year average for the entire campus, the green line, which is our current IEPI goal, which remains constant. And as you filter, you will identify, just pick a handful. As you filter, there is a red group, an orange line that will also show the adjusted values based off of the groups that you filter. So all the groups that we just selected there, this orange line up here at the top represents the 5-year average for that group. The orange line, or the yellowish orange line, will adjust as you filter groups in or out of the overall data set. And the blue line will also adjust. The red line and the green line will remain static. Remember that as you move through the dashboard, your filters will follow you, so be sure that you're always checking to make sure you're looking at what you think you're looking at. You can also pull courses in or out. Again, if the course is checked, or if the area is checked, that means it is included. Unchecked means it's not included. You can also include or exclude students from the visualization based on demographics here on the corner. Also note that as you filter demographic groups out, the size of your sample will become smaller and smaller. And because these filters can constrict groups to very small numbers, if the group is no longer includes at least 10 students, then it will not display any results. This next tab looks at grades by term. So this particular view is very similar to course success, but this view will allow you to remove specific grades out of the visualization. So for instance, let's say you wanted to know of the students who remained until the end, what percentage of them passed. So I can remove my withdrawals, my incompletes from my analysis here, and just look at the students who remain till the end of the semester, and I can see what percentage of those students passed with an A, B, C, or pass, what percentage of those students received a D, F, or no pass. Again, I can filter by program, and I can filter by course, and I can filter by demographics. Whenever you want to clear out a filter, you can hover over and you'll see this filter with the red X. If I click it, then that will bring everything back into my view. The next tab over looks at course success by course. So again, if I want to limit to only the courses within my program, I can unselect everything And then I can choose to look at one area, for instance. And then I can look at all the courses within my program. Similar to the other pages, there is a reference line here. So this reference line is the average for the whole program or for all of the courses that are included in your visualization. And then you have success rates by course. As you hover over different bars, you'll notice that you can see more information about what's being included in that particular bar. So you can see how many enrollments were included, how many successes, and what the percentage is. Again, to clear out a filter, just include everything back in. The next is course success by modality. So this separates out courses by the different types of modality or the different type of course characteristics. So this across the top is the total for the group that's being shown. You can again select a program, you can select a course. This might be useful if you're considering looking at comparisons between campus or online. If you want to know how students are doing in ABC legacy classes or in honor sections, this will allow you to separate out different types of courses. Next is our success by demographics tab. This allows you to look at the course success rate by different demographic groups and how those groups compare to the overall average. So here we're looking at course success by gender. So this is the success rate for females, for males, and unreported. And then over here, you're looking at an equity gap analysis. So this basically looks at the percentage of that particular subgroup as compared to the average. So if you hover over this yellow line, you'll see that the average is 72%. Remember that everything is slightly rounded, so there might be a little bit of error as we look at decimal points. But what you're going to look at is the average between, or the difference between this group and this orange line. So green indicates it's above average, red indicates it's below average. We have that same type of analysis for other types of student characteristics, first generation status, what their declared educational goal is, and what their enrollment status is, as well as course characteristics. So students enroll in different types of classes, different times of the day, or different lengths. This might be helpful if you're looking at adding short-term sessions or if you're looking at the viability of intersession or summer courses. And you can always scroll over this info button to get more information. And we also have other places that you can roll over that will give you more information about what you're looking at in the dashboard.